ribbon cutting, families who have lived in our city for generations find it harder and harder to stay. Right now, Yale is investing in automating jobs with AI while dragging its feet on a contract that is the pillar of the middle class in New Haven. As we stand together to fight Trump, the president of Yale is holding a private meeting with Trump's education secretary, Linda McMahon. There we go. There is another way, but we must fight and organize for an affordability agenda. Together we can fight for an affordable city. We can expand the number of workers who have unions, just like our postdoc comrades did last night. Congratulations, Local 33. We can make Yale pay its fair share. It's about time. We can stop corporations like Airbnb from destroying our housing stock and exacerbating our housing crisis. We can ensure that developers stop relying on poverty-wage jobs and hire locally. We can beat back Trump by insisting that Yale finds courage to push back against his cruel agenda. Even more importantly, we can send armies of canvassers to beat him in battleground states this fall. We are prepared to join workers from across this community to lead this fight. We will not stop until New Haven is a place where everyone can live in dignity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jess. Give it up for Jess Corbett and Unite Here. All right, our next speaker in the labor block is Alex Johnson with CDU, Connecticut Drivers United. If you see them in their blue shirts, ask them what they're working on and how you can support them. Alex?
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Oh, y'all can do better than that. I said, how y'all feeling today? I still think we can do better. Remember that first boy band you screamed so loud for you thought you were gonna die? I need to hear you that loud. How we doing today? All right, that's a lot better. My name's Alex Johnson. I'm an organizer with Connecticut Drivers United. We're an organization made up of drivers, these wonderful, beautiful people in blue shirts up here. And I'm so sorry, made up of drivers fighting for rideshare and delivery app drivers. So that's your DoorDash, your Uber, your Lyft, your Instacart, all the apps. So I just want to talk a little bit today about, well, even before that, are there any drivers in the house today? Let me see some hands. Any app drivers? Anybody? Okay, well, my wonderful Xavier up here. If you have not come to our tent, we are that black tent back there with Connecticut driver sign. Please come talk to us, see how you can get involved. Most importantly, for all who are not drivers, I'm going to paint a picture for y'all. Drivers are independent contractors, which means federally, drivers have almost nothing of labor rights and standards. How do y'all feel about that? Exactly. Thank you very much. For your understanding of labor rights, organizing, and unionization in this country, I need you to throw it out the window, okay? The drivers are living and fighting in the Stone Ages before union and labor standards were ever written. Drivers come and tell me that they feel like indentured servants, okay? Now, if we focus on Connecticut for a moment, a state that claims that it is progressive and pro-labor, there is legislation that states that independent contractors are not allowed to form a union. What do y'all think of that? Oh no, I need to hear shame! Shame! We do not receive unemployment. There's little to employment protections for drivers, and most importantly, there's no standard requirement of pay. Drivers receive no guarantee of a salary, minimum wage, or pay at all. This allows these multi-billionaire companies to rake in more money than kings and emperors while obliterating drivers into poverty. The pay is so bad that we are seeing deliveries around this very green for $1 to $2, and we are even seeing rides for 5 minutes around here, 10 minutes for $3. That is unacceptable. If you don't believe me, come to our table and I'll show you. I understand that everyone is struggling to pay bills, but drivers are struggling to eat, feed their families, and not lose their cars, which is their only form of employment. Also, another important fact is that Connecticut Drivers United estimate that 85% of drivers are immigrants and 90% of drivers are people of color. So all the while they're dealing with these companies crushing them and their cars under their giant corporate feet, they have nothing to they also have to contend with the racism of this country and harassment of ICE. So I challenge everyone today to say, it's not enough to say no la migra, to say no ICE, no KKK, no. Hey, no fascist USA. But we have to form a path for drivers and immigrants for success. If we only eliminate la migra, drivers and immigrants are still left as financial second-class citizens. So I say no la migra and yes to immigrant rights. No la migra, yes to immigrant rights. No la migra, yes to immigrant rights. No la migra, yes to driver rights. No la migra, yes to driver rights. No la migra, yes to driver rights. So my last begging request, there's 1 million drivers as part of Connecticut Drivers United, but we can only reach so many drivers. If you see my lovely Xavier right here, he has these cards right here. I challenge you, come up here, grab one from Xavier. Next time you see a driver, tell them about us. Tell them that we need to get together, that we need to band and fight for drivers. So can everyone promise me that today? I don't see y'all walking to Xavier. He's right here. Wave that flag, Xavier. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Give it up for Alex. Excuse me, sir. We're not doing Q&A right now. We're going to keep it going. You can talk to somebody in a blue shirt. Give it up for Alex and CDU. Yes.
En Connecticut todos hablamos español. Sí, español, español.
So you can see up here, in addition to labor, we have a student block as part of this speaking section. Because me, as the representative of New Haven Federation of Teachers, you see our teachers here. And one thing is clear, that we say every time that we are up here, is that our working conditions are our students' learning conditions. Those are connected. And that is why when our students show up, we are right there to support them. So I am proud to introduce a New Haven leader who I am proud to follow, Brandon Daly, student at Metropolitan. Brandon, give it away.
Thank you. Thank you. How are we doing, everyone? Good. Let's keep that energy for the whole day. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brandon D. Daly. I am a junior at Metropolitan Business Academy. I am a leader at Citywide Youth Coalition and the president and founder of Community Youth Leadership Assembly, CYLA. Today is Mayday, a tradition, and today is Mayday, where workers from around the country, rooted in struggle, resistance, come together with ordinary people to show power and fight for what we deserve in our community. Today, we are stepping into that tradition as students. We are here because we are tired of being told to wait for justice that never fully arrives. We are here because our schools are not being funded the way they should be. And we are here because we refuse to accept this as normal. Let's be clear, the state's ECS formula is not working for us. I repeat, it's not working for us as students. It's not meeting the real cost of educating the students in our communities and schools like ours. It's not closing the gaps, it's only widening them in our schools. It's not building opportunity, it's only maintaining inequality. And every year that they stay underfunded, they're asking our schools to do more with less, and our students are the ones carrying those burdens and consequences. We see it every day, from overcrowded classrooms to teachers being stressed beyond their limits. Missing support and staff and limited mental health resources, even programs like music and arts and after-school programs and enrichment being cut and underfunded. And then we're being told just to push through it. But we're not machines. We are not statistics. We are young people trying to learn, grow, thrive, and survive in a system that's not fully invested in us. And while our schools are being underfunded, we are seeing where this money is going to. More policing in schools, more surveillance in our communities, more punishments, more control. We are saying clearly today that safety is not a cop in every hallway, at every corner. Safety is not criminalizing students and young people for being emotional, for being expressive, for being human. Safety is care. We want counselors, not cops in our schools. We want social workers, not surveillance systems in our schools and in our communities. We want restorative justice, not punishment pipelines. We want schools that respond to harm with healing, not force. Because we the students are struggling. When we struggle, we need support, not punishment. What we need is understanding, not criminalization. We need investment, not neglect. Let me say, this is bigger than just a school issue. We see every day the system that underfund our schools, underpay our workers, our families, our fathers, our mothers, and neglect our neighborhoods and leave our communities struggling every day. To our teachers, to our students, to our staff, to cafeteria workers, custodians, bus drivers, every worker that keeps our community running, we stand with you today and fight for you every step of the way. We will not stay silent, for today is Mayday. That reminds us when real change happens, when our community, our teachers, workers, everyone comes together in solidarity and fight for what is deserved and what's right. So today, we are together to fight for fully funded schools, for dignity, for care over punishment, for communities to invest in our people instead of abandoning them. Today is more than just an action or a walkout. It is a call to action to pick up that poster, to go organize and go fight for what's right and stop letting them neglect us. So today, I tell you to organize, to fight, to talk. Do not be silenced by this oppressive government, for this oppressive system. And we will continue to fight with our teachers and all of the workers that keep our community running. Happy Mayday, everyone, and let's keep fighting.
Thank you, Brandon. Give it up for Brandon. Look at what is possible when youth lead. Brandon sees it clearly. He knows the connections of the past to the present and the future. Give it up for Brandon Daly again.
Un gran aplauso para nuestro compañero Brandon. Vean todo lo que se puede hacer cuando se lucha por la educación de los jóvenes. Da otro aplauso más fuerte, por favor.
So we know that people's working conditions and living conditions and learning conditions are connected. And we know that housing is part of this struggle.
Sabemos que nuestros derechos están interconectados cuando se trata de la educación, de la vivienda, de los trabajos, y todo eso está conectado.
So we are welcoming up to the stage now our comrades from UACT. Tammy is going to share a few words. Come on up. Give it up for UACT. Because here's the reality. When warming centers close, where can people go? The emergency is tonight. The emergency is every night when people continue to struggle for stable housing. So please welcome Tammy to the stage.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I'm a member of UACT. Also been homeless in New Haven for the last 3 years. Since February 5th of 2023. The day that my husband passed away. They put a green sticker in my door stating that everything went through probate court because I wasn't there to sign the lease. The last lease. The lease was due February 1st. I was in South Carolina. He died of a massive heart attack on the 5th. And I wasn't there to sign the new lease. Since I wasn't there to sign the new lease, I had no rights to the apartment. So I lost my stepdaughter's ashes that was in the apartment. Not only that, I was camping out by the coffee. What is it? Fuzzy Coffee on the bike trail. Went to Fuzzy Coffee to use the bathroom. Left my tent up because I was coming right back to put it down. Left my purse in there. Got ripped off because the city didn't a encampment suite that morning. So now I'm still fighting after 18 months. The mayor's saying on the news saying for me to do a police investigation. Why now? Why now? I told you 18 months ago this happened. You told me there wasn't nothing you can do. Now I'm threatening to sue you behind. You want to do a police investigation. That ain't right. That ain't right. We need proper housing.
Yes.
We need everyone that's homeless right now into somewhere to lay their head. Even if it's a tiny house. We need, let's go with UAC. They got the tiny houses at Rosette Village. He cut the power off. Why? They don't. I worked all my life. I got SSI right now. I fell off of a scaffold and broke my back 10 years ago. I got a herniated slip disc that's hitting against his sciatic nerve. When he did that encampment sweep, he took my walker at the same time. You know, I'm looking at it all in one picture. But thank God I'm walking around without it today. You know, I'm able to walk around it without it. What if somebody ain't able to walk around without it and couldn't get it back? You know? I'm looking at people that I serve, or we serve every Friday down here, sharing a meal with one another. I share a meal at Gulf Street Park every second Saturday of the month. Okay. But we're here fighting.
The UAC table is set up. We want you to go connect with them, find out what you can do to help unhoused people in this city. Fatima?
La mesa de
Thank you,
nuestros
Tammy.
compañeros que no tienen una casa ya está lista. UAC, pasen por su mesa, pregunten, únanse. No están solos, no están solas. You guys are not by yourself. We are the community and the community is with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, UAC. Please check in with their table. Please also know that we have marshals here with yellow vests. They are moving through the space with water. There are snacks available. There's a medic tent in the back if anybody needs anything. Please, let's take care of each other as we are here.
Entonces vamos a cuidarnos entre todos, entre todas, porque aquí tenemos la mesa de los compañeros y vamos a seguir en la lucha.
So next, I am proud to introduce Jamie. Jamie is a worker with Starbucks Workers United, and they continue to be in a struggle against really the symbol of corporate America and abuse of workers. So let's listen to Jamie's story now. Jamie.
Thank you. Good afternoon, New Haven. My name is Jamie Santelises. I'm a Starbucks shift supervisor over in Hamden, and I'm here today representing my union. If you're here today, you're probably aware that we're living in very dark times. We're in an era of never before seen wealth disparity and inequality, and we're sold this great promise of the American dream. We work hard, they sell you to work hard, buy a house, have kids, and retire. But what an amazing lie that we are sold. Year after year, the cost of living goes up, our wages stagnate, and we're told to work harder. Our tax dollars are used to obliterate schools overseas, genocide entire populations, and bring the planet to the brink of collapse. This is not sustainable, and things have to change, and we know that our government is not interested in the betterment of society, our health, or our prosperity. They are only interested in exponentially increasing profits, and who pays the cost? We, the working people, pay the price. I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with Starbucks and how it treats its workers, and how it has led to one of the fastest growing union campaigns in recent times. I've been with the company for 5 years. I'll be honest, it was never great, but the people make it worth it. In these past 5 years, I've seen Starbucks cut our staffing, cut our hours, and cut our benefits. Employees are doing the work of what used to be 3 people's jobs, and they demand faster drive-through times with less people, inconsistent schedules that make it hard for us to enjoy any semblance of a balanced personal life. When I speak to my coworkers, they speak of exhaustion and frustration, and I'm sure many of you experience the same thing in your workplace. My coworkers and I decided that enough is enough. We came together and knew things needed to change. But how do you fight back against a billion-dollar company? The answer is collective action. Unionizing your place of work. 2 years ago, my store unionized, and we joined what is now over 600 other stores nationwide to collectively bargain for better conditions, better staffing, better protections, and better workers' rights. Starbucks Workers United demands that the company agrees to a fair contract that treats us with dignity and treats us like humans. I think of my coworker Shana, who was fired for being 2 minutes late to work because she had the audacity to use public transport, or my coworker Nicole, who was fired unfairly with 2 kids to feed at home. Without unions, companies can abuse you, violate your rights, and terminate you with zero sympathy or regard. This is the reason we choose to fight.
And the CEOs are sipping martinis.
I need to cut it short, but I just wanted to leave you with this. I know it seems pretty hopeless right now, but today I look around and I'm actually full of hope. I wanted to just mention that we outnumber the billionaire class, and labor is our greatest leverage. And it's time we remind them who really holds the power.
Labor is our greatest leverage. Labor is our greatest leverage, and that is a perfect connection to our next speaker. So when we think about labor and we think about unions around this state, we are proud members of the Connecticut AFL-CIO, the umbrella that holds us all together, that protects us, and that pushes us forward in this labor movement. And I am proud to introduce my union brother, the president of the Connecticut AFL-CIO, Ed Hawthorne. Give it up for Ed.
Happy Mayday, union family. How are you doing today? Brothers, sisters, and siblings, look around you. This is what power looks like. Not the power of a boardroom or a hedge fund, but the power of people that make Connecticut run. Today is May Day. For us, it's a sacred day, rooted in the defiance of the working class. We have to remember where we came from to know where we are going. May Day wasn't handed to us by benevolent employers. It was won in the streets of Chicago in 1886. Just like today, these workers were tired of being treated like disposable parts in a machine, and they demanded something simple, but at the time revolutionary. 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for what we will. They faced down violence for that dream. Because they stood together, we have weekends, child labor laws, and safety standards at work. The history of May Day reminds us that nothing is given. Everything is won through collective action and worker solidarity, just like today. But today, we aren't just fighting the bosses at the gate. We are fighting a legal system that's rigged against us. 16 years ago, the Supreme Court handed down a decision, Citizens United. That decision told us a lie. It told us that corporations are people and money is speech. You can boo that. Let's be clear, money is not speech. Speech is the voice of a teacher in a classroom. Speech is the shout of a machinist on a picket line. Money in politics is power, and when you allow corporations to spend unlimited amounts of it, you aren't protecting speech, you're drowning out the voices of working families. Citizens United didn't change the rules of the game. It tried to buy the stadium, the players, and the referees. It created a pay-to-play system where billionaires' whim carries more weight than the collective will of thousands. It was designed to make us feel small, to make us believe our votes don't matter because we can't outspend the corporate class. For brothers, sisters, and siblings, there's one thing that they forgot. They have the gold, but we have the people. They have the capital, but we are the labor. When we organize, when we knock on doors, when we talk to our neighbors in Waterbury, Bridgeport, and right here in New Haven, that is a form of speech that no super PAC can silence. As we celebrate the true Labor Day today, let's commit to overturning the legacy of Citizens United. Let's fight for a democracy where a nurse and a teacher's voice counts as much as the CEO's. Yes. The martyrs of 1886 didn't give up when the odds were against them, and neither will we. Solidarity today, solidarity tomorrow, and solidarity forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Solidarity forever. Fatima, you're going to introduce our music performance. All right, we are shifting now from labor block to our next block. So with that, we're going to have a musical performance.
Buenas tardes,
Thank
gente. So let me introduce Gabriel. Él es de la tribu Navajo y va a compartir unas palabras con nosotros. So let me introduce you, Gabriel. He is from los pueblos originarios Navajo. So please give it up for Gabriel.
Sí, gracias, Fatima. Ya Gabriel Yazi, Yeneshe, Nakai de Ne, Enshle, Tanasani, Bashashin, Toruchini, Doshamasani, Nakai de Ne, Doshanelli. Hello everyone, thank you for being here today. I introduce myself in my native language from the Navajo people of the southwest of what we call the United States. I come to you today as a visitor, as a guest on these lands. And as I speak, we are lighting some Palo Santo to honor the spirits, the ghosts of the past, the indigenous peoples from this land. So as we stand here today, and we light this sage, please take a moment to pause and acknowledge the earth and the ground below. Now my people, we're called the Dene, the Navajo, a people whose songs anchor the earth and the sky in the southwest of this country. I was asked to share a song today on behalf of Native peoples, but I must speak a truth first before I share this song, that no one person can speak for all Native nations. And I cannot speak for the people whose land we stand upon. They call us Native Americans. They call us Indians. Some might call us the Red Men. Others say indigenous. Whatever name you choose, it must be clear that we are gathered on the traditional and unceded lands of the Quinnipiac Nation. This land, New Haven, was not just stewarded in the past, it was taken from peoples who were forced into the first Native American reservation. Yet the descendants of the original tribes are still here in Connecticut, surviving a history of genocide and erasure. I name this history because the struggle that is happening right now on Mayday is connected to the ground beneath our feet, where prejudiced politicians criminalize families for moving across the earth, where they build modern cages designed to turn human suffering into corporate profit. And we must recognize the profound hypocrisy that the politicians signing these orders and profiting from these prisons are the descendants of the original uninvited settlers. The corrupt politicians are those who crossed the oceans to take this land and now punish those who cross borders to survive and protect their children. So I offer this song today, not as a representative of this land, but as a guest standing in absolute solidarity with all families under attack today. That way we also honor the indigenous ancestors of yesterday. Every time you and I share our voices, every time we refuse to let the ground become silent, You let your presence here today be a commitment to dismantle the cages they are building. Just as indigenous peoples have fought the reservations and boarding schools, we are all writing the next chapter of tomorrow together. Before I share this song from the indigenous struggle, I just have to let you know it is meant as a gift of strength to each of you and to the spirits of this place.
Thank you, Gabriel. So I'm gonna say it in Spanish now. Ahora va en español. Hoy vengo ante ustedes como visitante. Mi pueblo se llama Diné Navajo. Pertenecemos a un pueblo cuyas canciones se enraizan en la tierra y el cielo en el suroeste de este país. Me pidieron que compartiera una canción en nombre de nuestros pueblos indígenas, pero primero debo decir una verdad. Nadie, una sola persona, ninguna sola persona puede hablar por las naciones indígenas. Y hoy no puedo hablar por el pueblo en cuya tierra nos encontramos. Nos llaman nativos americanos, nos llaman indios. Algunos podrían llamarnos los pieles rojas, otros nos dicen indígenas. Cualquiera que sea el nombre que elijan, algo debe quedar claro: que estamos reunidos en las tierras tradicionales no cedidas de la nación Quinnipiac. Esta tierra no solo fue administrada o gobernada en el pasado, fue tomada, fue robada. En 1638, aquí mismo en New Haven, fueron obligados a moverse, a trasladarse a la primera reserva indígena. Sin embargo, los descendientes de estas tribus originales aún vivimos aquí, sobreviviendo a una historia de genocidio y aniquilación. Menciono esta lucha porque es parte de la historia que se libra ahora mismo. Está conectada con la tierra que pisamos. Políticos prejuiciosos criminalizan a familias por desplazarse por el mundo. Construyen jaulas modernas diseñadas para convertir el sufrimiento humano en ganancias corporativas. Debemos reconocer la profunda hipocresía que los políticos que firman estas órdenes y se benefician de estas prisiones son descendientes de los primeros colonos no invitados. Los políticos corruptos son los que cruzaron océanos para apoderarse de esta tierra y ahora castigan a quienes cruzan fronteras para sobrevivir. Por eso, hoy les ofrezco esta canción, no como representante de esta tierra, sino como un invitado que se solidariza plenamente con las familias que hoy sufren ataques. De esta manera también honramos a los ancestros indígenas del ayer. Cada vez que alcemos la voz, que sea una negativa a que esta tierra quede en silencio, que su presencia aquí hoy sea un compromiso para desmantelar las jaulas que están construyendo, tal como los pueblos indígenas lucharon contra las reservas y todos aquellos internados hace mucho tiempo. Estamos escribiendo la nueva historia. Con ustedes, Gabriel.
This song is called the American Indian Movement Song, and it's to honor the struggle of the working class and revolutionaries in North America and South America, all over.
Esta canción es una canción indígena revolucionaria para honrar a nuestros pueblos indígenas de todo el mundo.
From the Zapatistas to the Black Panther Party to the Brown Berets to all revolutionaries who died and no longer stand with us today.
Desde los zapatistas hasta las panteras negras y todos aquellos pueblos y grupos que se mantienen en resistencia.
Thank you, Tlazo Gamatli, everybody, for being here.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Gabriel. We are moving now from our labor, student, and housing block to our international block. I'm going to take a moment now to remind us of the demands of the Mayday Strong movement. So the first demand you heard about in the speakers who just went. And the first demand is to tax the rich and put workers over billionaires.
Entonces vamos a movernos ahora al segmento internacional y vamos a recordar las demandas que nosotros tenemos el día de hoy, y es que se le cobren los impuestos a los ricos y que vamos a poner a toda la gente pobre por encima de los malditos millonarios.
And the second demand is that we say no to ICE, no to war, end the occupation of our cities and other countries.
La segunda demanda que tenemos hoy es que vamos a decirle no a ICE, le vamos a decir no a la guerra y vamos a decirle no a la ocupación en nuestras ciudades.
And this brings us to our next speakers. Baza and Omar are going to speak next. Yes, Omar first. Here we go. Omar.
Hi, my name is Omar Antar, and I'm representing the Justice for Palestine in Congress, which is an electoral political effort to provide voting public here in Connecticut with political candidates who can oppose genocide, apartheid, occupation, and multiple wars of aggression, especially on the federal congressional level. In particular, we want to highlight the atrocious record of Senator Blumenthal. He is one of only 7 Democrat senators out of the 47 Democratic senators who refused to vote to stop the recent weapons and armored bulldozer sales to Israel. Shame. Blumenthal won't call for reporters to let independent reporters into the Gaza Strip to expose the genocide unless they're embedded in the genocide force. Blumenthal won't let an airlift of Palestinian infant burn victims and amputees to hospitals here in the United States. So Trump allowed them in, but then he has stopped them. But Blumenthal won't let them or push for them to come return. Whoa. So right here, right now, we want to make the call for a brave citizen or citizens of Connecticut to electorally challenge Senator Blumenthal, whose current term ends in 2028. So we want these brave citizens to primary him in the Democratic primary as well as challenge him in the general election. We believe that Connecticut deserves a senator who only serves the United States and Connecticut, not a foreign power, and will help end the genocide, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, and multiple wars of aggression rather than feed the endless and bankrupting military-industrial complex. Thank you. I'm also here to talk about anti-Muslim bigotry that drives the supremacist project that we see in Palestine and here in the United States. I'm particularly impressed by the spontaneous creed of Brandon of the Majority Report that you may have seen on YouTube, who most eloquently described how bigoted narratives end up justifying genocide and wars against the other, and Muslims in this case. But exactly. So this principle applies also domestically here in the United States and in policing in the United States, and especially as how racism affects our black and brown brothers and sisters. And this concept, so bigoted individuals, institutions, and governments use stereotypes against the other to allow themselves to deny the humanity of those subject to Western imperialism. In effect, to say to themselves that the entire populations or entire religions essentially deserve it, regardless of how horrific the crimes inflicted upon them are. So it is incumbent upon all of us to not forget the humanity and rights of Muslims and all humans, even if they are not our co-religionists and if we disagree strongly with them on policy issue. This recognition of Muslims, especially in Palestine, includes the protection of all religious sites, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, and in particular protecting the Al-Aqsa complex, including the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So we must oppose all forms of oppression from governments across the region that abuse Muslims in a variety of ways. And so I'd like to just end with some plugs. that Sunday, May 3rd at 2 p.m., we're going to have a vigil against the Iran war and an Al-Aqsa protection rally. It's on I-95 and exit 16 East Avenue in Norwalk, Connecticut. So thank you.
Thank you, Omar. And now we're going to pass it to Basil to continue on the anti-imperialism message. Basil.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Basil. I'm representing We Will Return as well as the Palestine Coalition, CT. May Day is about workers rising up. Yes. About dignity, resistance, and solidarity. But that solidarity means nothing if it doesn't include the people who need it the most. Those people are the Palestinian people. Palestinians who can't live freely in their own land. Palestinians who can't move freely. Palestinians who can't work freely. Palestinians who can't organize freely. So everything this day stands for, if you're here for May Day, then you're here for Palestine. Let's be clear about what we're talking about here. Over 700,000 Palestinians have been murdered in the past 3 years by this government. Over 5.4 million have been displaced. Thousands of political prisoners, and right now families are being bombed, starved, burned alive while the world debates their humanity. This is not complicated, nor did it start yesterday. I'm Palestinian. I'm from Hebron. I'm from Khalil. I talk to my family in Palestine every single day. They see us. They appreciate us. They take the time to thank us. But we both know it's not enough. My uncle in Palestine told me from a young age, as citizens in America, as people who live here, work here, pay taxes here, it is your responsibility to speak out against this government, not just for Palestine, but for everything they're doing to us. That's a responsibility, because the same resistance that built this day is the same resistance Palestinians are displaying right now. And every child running for safety with nowhere safe to go. And every family surviving under bombs, refusing to leave their home. And every single person who wakes up to destruction and still chooses to exist and resist. That is May Day and that is Palestine. And yet people are still quiet. If your support disappears the moment it costs you something, it was never real. The Free Palestine slogan, it's not asking what you believe, it's asking what you're willing to do. And we need to stop being polite about this. I don't care where you're from. I don't care your background. If you're standing here today and you stand for justice, then standing for Palestine is not optional. We need to stop being scared. We need to speak up everywhere, because showing up just today, it's not enough. So when they ask you where you stand, you say, I stand for a free Palestine. If they say they don't know, then you say, you don't stand for justice. There's only one side that stands for everything the revolutionaries of this day stood for. And we're standing on it right here, right now. So when I say free, you say Palestine free! Palestine! Free! Palestine! When I say long live, you say Palestine long live! Palestine! Long live! Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! Free Palestine!
Thank you, Basil. I am proud to introduce next, speaking about his experiences in Cuba recently, Phil. I love to hear from you. I heard you on City Hall before, and we get to hear you again now. Phil.
Vamos a escuchar de Phil sus experiencias en Cuba.
What's up, y'all? Happy May Day.
Happy May Day.
My name is Phil. I'm a member of the Party for Socialism, Liberation, and Artists Against Apartheid. And you know, there's this old song I used to go, which side are you on? Which side are you on? And from Connecticut to Cuba, we all represent the millions of workers around the world standing up for human rights, standing up for our neighbors, standing up against imperialism. So if you want to know who is not on our side, who is not on the people's side, you have to ask who is trying to send us to war with Cuba. And I'll tell them, The people trying to send us to war against Cuba are the ones who refuse to give you the day off for Mayday. The ones trying to send us to war against Cuba are the ones trying to stop the students from leaving class. They're the ones lying about our movement on the news. So who's trying to send us to war against Cuba? The ones that refuse to give you health care. The ones that let you die on the street or on the green. The ones that are getting rich off your rent. Who's trying to send us to war is easy. They're called the billionaires. And they hate Cuba because they hate you. They hate Cuba because they hate the country where everyone has the right to health care. Y'all don't need another example of how to stand up to get y'all health care. That's why they hate us. They hate Cuba. They don't need another country where the students not only have rights, but they have political power. They hate Cuba because they're a country where everyone is organized by community. They hate Cuba because they're a good example. They're an example of how to get organized. They're an example of how to be among your community. They're an example of how to be educated for your community. So, it's not just about who they hate. But if they hate you, and if the billionaires hate getting organized, you should be more excited to get organized. You should be more willing to talk to your neighbor about how to free Palestine, how to free Cuba, how to free the people of Iran from American imperialism. So again, my name is Phil from the Party for Socialism Liberation and Artists Against Apartheid. Come talk to me. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Phil. Next up.
Mike's off.
I know. It'll be on in a minute. R&G. No? Over here. Grab another one. There we go. Hello. There we go. Can we give it up for our sound crew, please? Because some people do have to work on May Day so that we can come together and make sure that our voices are heard. So, thank you. Thank you for being the sound crew for us today. As we continue to focus on our demand to end the occupation of other countries, Jim from Veterans for Peace is going to share his words with us today. Jim.
Hello, hello. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Happy May Day.
Happy May Day.
And bear with me, my Spanish is a little rusty, but hola, compañeros y compañeras. Seguimos luchando. I made it. Okay. Look, I've been asked to speak today on behalf of Veterans for Peace in Connecticut. I'm retired Navy, Seabee, and most of my comrades that I hang with, they're all combat veterans. And we know one thing, that war is never the answer. War sucks. And there's no blood for oil. That's what we say. No blood for oil. And as General Smedley Butler of the Marine Corps said back in 1935, war is a goddamn racket. So listen, we're all in this thing together. I don't have one of these smartphones. I got one of these old fart flip phones. So these guys can hold their notes, but I got paper and pen. So look, I'll try to wing through this because time is short. But remember one thing, we got a war going on that nobody wants and nobody asked for, nobody voted for in Iran. It's illegal, immoral, and totally uncalled for. So we've got to push our politicians to do their job and get off their butt and to stop this war and to stop the funding for it. That's how you stop war. The only way we got out of Vietnam, and I remember that, is Congress decided to cut the funding. That's the only way you can do it. Cut the funding. If they have the courage, this crap going on with Gaza and elsewhere will stop. So it's up to us. And if our politicians aren't going to move, and it's up to us to demand a primary and primary these guys out of office. And let's get some progressives to run for office under a peace and prosperity motto. Okay, that's what we need. Remember this, Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution says that only Congress has the sole power to declare war. Not the president, but Congress. And as I said, Congress has the power of the purse. So you stop funding, you stop the funds, you stop the wars.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember, war abroad comes back to bite us in the hind parts, and it equates to violence right back home. So let's stop this nonsense, craziness. Twice a year, we do a speech by the great Martin Luther King in front of City Hall. Once on his birthday, January 15th, and another one on April 4th. The day he was assassinated. Dr. King wrote some of the best words any American ever wrote in the history of this country. He said, and I quote, "America is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today." And he said that, excuse me, "America is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, and that a nation that continues year after year to spend more money on defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death." So let's get our priorities straight. Money for jobs and education, not wars and occupation.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.